Hello everybody, SWTOR Gaming here, and today I'm going to be talking about PC games and how bad the industry is in a whole. What I'm talking about mainly is going to be graphics and the performance issues in bad PC ports that we have been seeing in the past year and a half, and just all time. So basically, I would like to start out with PC ports and how bad they are and why we should not have to deal with these kinds of bad PC ports. We all know what happened with Arkham Knight. That game was a complete and total dumpster fire. It still is. Nobody can run it. It's just never going to be fixed. It's never going to be good as the Xbox One and PS4 versions are, because it's just a bad port. Now, what I don't understand is why would you release something that literally nobody will play? It just does no purpose. I think if the gaming industry stepped it up a notch, and if we were to actually get better PC ports, I think that gaming as a whole would improve. I think just at the moment, gaming just sucks. Why should we have to deal with a broken PC port of a game that we then have to refund? You know what, some people who bought Arkham Knight probably couldn't even refund it. Why? Because they bought it off the gray market because it's cheaper. But then they get a broken game, they can't refund it, it's stuck in their Steam library, then they have to wait another 3 months for it to get optimized so that you can actually play it. And even then, it's not the best. So then what's the point? Why would we have broken PC games? There really is no point, and we should not, as gamers, have to put up with this kind of crap. Just Cause 3. Just Cause, that's an amazing game. Just Cause 2 was great. Just Cause 3 builds on Just Cause 2 so much, gives it so much life, so much better. But then the performance, what the hell do you guys do with performance? Day one, I'm on a GTX 960. I just jump in, I put it on medium because I'm not quite sure how well it'll run, and it stutters all over the freaking place. I pull up NCXT's cam software, and I'm seeing dips in GPU usage all the way down to 60%, and then I get a nice little stutter, and I'm like staying there frozen for 2 seconds, and it's just ridiculous. Why is there a game that literally will stutter on PC hardware? And it's just broken. Why should we have to deal with these quality flaws? Like, if it was anything else, like, let me think, if it was a car, let's say cars, if we, cars and video games, let's compare them. So when a new car releases, we expect it to run flat out well. We don't want to bring it back into the shop to get it fixed because there's some sort of a design flaw. In the same thing here, video games cost a lot to develop. Like, why should video games have to be broken, not work, not be up to expectations, get graphical downgrades, and just have all around bad optimized engines? We wouldn't bring a car back because it is running slow or whatnot, because cars, they will work when you buy them because people put in effort and they make a quality car. Now with a video game, what companies are doing is they are making it so that we get these crappy games. They're good games, but then the performance issues give them really, really bad ratings. They bomb it, and then really nobody wants to play it. So we can call that a failed game. If we look at Mad Max, that just hits everything on par. Everything was optimized, graphics looked good, gameplay was solid, physics were solid, vehicle physics were solid. Everything about Mad Max was solid. Sure, there wasn't as much of a storyline, but nobody really cared because you just get to go around and blow stuff up and just have fun. That's what Mad Max achieves. Now the good thing about that is that we have a complete game. It's a complete game. Everything works. There doesn't need to be any more patches. Everything's optimized to the fullest. Now we look at something like Just Cause 3. Just Cause 3, the graphics are absolutely nothing to write home about. Now, people are going to say graphics don't really matter. That's something else I wanted to talk about in this video, is graphics do matter. This is 2016. If we look at Battlefront, that game was optimized to the max running on Frostbite, and it looked phenomenal. It sounded phenomenal. There's so much going on. It's using physics-based rendering, and yet it still goes completely perfect on PC and on console. That's a good example of a game that both looks good and is well optimized. Now we look at Just Cause 3. The game's graphics are just like not anything you write home about. The faces on people are like not responsive. Just the graphics are by not any means anything to be excited about, because you know what, they just completely took it. They've made a game with not so good graphics, solid gameplay, bad car handling, and like gave it crappy optimization so that some lower end systems, they just have a miserable time. When I bought it week 1, the game just stuttered so darn much, and you know what else happened is the game deleted itself 32 hours into the game, so I had to start over at step 1, or go download somebody else's save file, because the game is broken enough that it will delete itself and will delete all save data from Steam. It doesn't go to the recycling bin, it just disappears after the last time you played it for no reason other than it's just some sort of a bug. Now I know this sometimes happens, but I've never seen this before. It's not an issue with me, it's not an issue with Steam, it's not an issue with my computer, it's an issue with Just Cause, and only Just Cause, because it should be saving to the cloud and my game should be there. Now, another thing is graphics. What? Now, I know a lot of people, we shouldn't care too much about graphics. It's the games that matter, not the graphics. I'm not saying that, so nobody get mad in the comments saying that that graphics don't matter. So I'm gonna cite Fallout 4. I'm going there, straight up going to Fallout 4. If you guys want to complain, if you want to dislike the video, you can go ahead and do that. I don't really care. Fallout 4's graphics were not up to par for this generation. If you look at Rise of the Tomb Raider, that launched on Xbox One around the same time as Fallout 4. Nobody played it because Fallout 4 released. But you know what? The graphics on that game were amazing on console. They completely dominated Fallout 4. And now I know that they're on different engines, but Fallout 4's engine is completely aging. It shows its age. Not everything moves and is all lifelike. And the problem with that is, well, while it runs well, the reason why it runs well is because there's nothing really hard to run. There's no like advanced effects in the game. The PC version just had really basic, high quality, like level of detail, render distance, shadow quality. The settings in the game were very minimal, and that should not be something that's in a game that is cited for 2015. I think if they had gone into more detail with the game and had actually invested in a better graphics engine, then I think that things would have been gone over much better. While graphics, again, they don't matter, they do matter. It's gaming. We should care about what we are looking at in this day and age, and PC games developers, mainly citing the developers, they should not be lazy enough that they do not give good graphics in a game, and it's something that should not be acceptable. Again, with performance, there is no reason why we should not be able to play games really well on mid to high range hardware. Just Cause 3, again, citing that, it doesn't even utilize SLI, so people who are doing dual 970s, they only get to use one 970. I know some games they just do that at launch, but as far as I know, I've not seen any patches saying that SLI has been added to the game. And again, that's where the GPU usage comes into play. Why is my GPU usage at 60% when it was just at 100%? Nothing happened except for the game is not very well optimized and the graphics aren't all that good. So again, as a standard for gaming, we're looking for really good graphics on PC. They don't have to be amazing. As long as the game's good, then that's what matters. But again, why can't we just have good graphics and good performance? I know that sounds stupid, but it's 2016. We should have high standards. We shouldn't have to deal with bad graphics and bad performance in the same game. If it's a really highly optimized game like Battlefront, it has beautiful graphics, then that's really good. Battlefront's graphics were at one point are a selling point for some people because it's just so amazing. And you know what? Battlefield 4, I know that game launched in 2013, but I'm getting over 90 frames per second on GTX 960. And you know what? All games should be looking pretty good at this point. Like, what are you guys doing? Look at Fallout 4. That game should look so much better. And I know graphics don't matter, but yes, they do at the same time. We're looking for games that run well and look good. So we need to stop accepting the fact that we're all hyped up on games and just want a better experience overall than what some of the developers are giving us. And then just lazy developers as the final topic, I'm going to cite Ubisoft. What are you guys doing over there? Seriously, Syndicate, your game looks like crap, and compared to other games, Mad Max is just with less of a budget looks phenomenal compared to Syndicate. Syndicate, it runs bad. 960 is the card I have. and from what benchmarks I've seen online, it will only run at medium settings if you want to get 60 FPS. Why is that? Why can't a game that doesn't have good graphics run so poorly? It's because you guys are not optimizing your engines. You refuse to go get another engine. You've refused to do anything that is out of the house engine, which I think is BS, because you guys could have so much better games if you were to just get an engine like Frostbite, Unreal Engine, and use that for your games instead of your engines that nobody likes. Watch Dogs, that game stuttered so much, it was horrible. And then if we look at Syndicate again, it's like, what are you doing? This game looks awful. Well, it doesn't look awful, it's just, again, it's not very up to point for the graphics that we're getting. Crisis, that game looks beautiful, but it's really hard to run. Why? Because it's ahead of its time. Why can't you go overboard with graphics, so then people who are using high-end hardware are going on high settings instead of very high to ultra, and just doing that so that the game looks well across the board no matter when you play it? That's future-proofing your game. Why can't you do that? Because you just won't optimize your engine, for one, and secondly, you refuse to go for any other engines other than your in-house ones. Then something I'd like to bring up is SWTOR, Star Wars: Republic. The engine in that game is crappy. I believe, I forget the name of the engine at this point, but they spent $100 a year to license it. Just think of that. Just think of it. A company that's making multi-million-dollar profits off of this game spent $100 a year to license an engine. $100. I could pay for that right now, and it wouldn't be too much of an issue. You guys are spending $100 on an engine, and you guys just really revealed that your sub count is all the way up, higher than it's ever been, even at launch. And you know what the developers say in a Q&A? The engine is not going to be updated in his lifetime. So basically, the game is going to be gone before this game is able to run. In case you guys don't know what I'm talking about, when I'm in PvP, my GPU utilization goes lower than whether or not I'm just standing in a lower populated area. Performance goes down when you get into a higher, into a more demanding area. Your hardware gets used less, and that's just because of the engine. So again, if developers are going to be lazy, then the games are not going to turn out too well. If they don't have good graphics, then we're not getting this next gen 2016, 2015 experience that I believe we should be getting at this point from developers. You guys have had years and years and years to get this together. I think it just needs to stop. So to reiterate, I just think that a lot of the PC games could be much better optimized, could have better graphics for the performance that we're getting, and developers just need to start realizing that they are making millions and millions of dollars off of these games, and that they need to put some effort in and stop revealing these games years early. So I hope this video is a bit insightful to some of you. Please go ahead, like, comment down below about what you think of this topic, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Again, subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys later. Bye bye.